Alright guys, so I have some great news to report today, and that is House Speaker Nancy Pelosi and Treasury Secretary Steven Mnuchin as of now came to a verbal agreement to use a short-term spending bill to avoid another government shutdown at the end of September. So this means that the continuing resolution needed to keep our government open past September 30th would be free of any controversial policy issues that have bogged down previous government funding bills in the past. Again guys, this update from Pelosi and Mnuchin significantly lowered the odds of a shutdown leading up to our presidential election on November 3rd. But before we get into the rest of the video, if you're new to the channel, welcome to the family of WhatJoe. Consider subscribing and turning on that notification bell as I'm posting valuable new information at least twice a week. And if you're a returning subscriber, I appreciate your continued support. So again guys, this is definitely one step in the right direction and one less thing to worry about right now. As you know, I have been saying for the past few weeks that I was greatly concerned about September being a very difficult month for our politicians because they still need to try to come to an agreement on a second stimulus package and at the same time work on coming up with a bill to continue funding for our government so that we do not have another government shutdown as we've seen in previous years. So the tentative deal also means that the government funding bill and a new stimulus relief package being negotiated between Pelosi and Mnuchin would not be a part of the same talk. So that's good. It's not going to be used as leverage. So as of now, it looks like we have an agreement to continue funding for the government, which means that our government programs will continue receiving funding, our government employees will continue getting paid, because the last thing we need right now, guys, is more market instability and more chaos in Washington. Both Mnuchin and Pelosi agreed to, and I quote, work to avoid a shutdown and keep the government open, and the best way to do that is a clean CR, so a clean resolution. Now, the duration of the CR is not clear at this point, but most likely the option will be to keep the government funded until the end of December, when Congress would need to return from a lame duck session to pass another short-term bill to fund the government into 2021. Well guys, I am glad that they're able to agree on something because we are still quite a bit apart on an agreement for a second stimulus package and a second round of stimulus checks. Now just so you guys know, the Senate returns to session next week while the House of Representatives will not be back in session until mid-September. So the latest Senate Republican bill is $1 trillion, which has been nicknamed a skinny bill, and it's expected to include $300 in weekly federal unemployment benefits through the end of December, another round of funding for the Paycheck Protection Program for small businesses, $105 billion for education, as well as liability protections for companies, schools, and healthcare providers. Also, the bill would provide billions of dollars to the U.S. Postal Service. Now again guys, the biggest difference is the amount of the bill. Now the House passed a bill for $3.4 trillion earlier this year, which was the HEROES Act, but that was dead on arrival in the Senate. Pelosi has offered to compromise and accept a $2.2 trillion relief package as a compromise, but that has been refused as well. Steven Mnuchin, who has been negotiating on behalf of the White House, and Republicans say they are willing to come up to $1.3 to $1.5 trillion for a total spending package. But so far, Pelosi has consistently said that it's not enough money to provide the needed stimulus and assistance to the American people. So guys, we have about $700,000 in total funding that is standing in the way of us getting a second round of stimulus checks and much needed relief to the American people. Democrats stated, and I quote, with no money for rental assistance, no money for nutrition assistance, and no money for state and local services, the census or safe election guarantees, Leader McConnell and Senate Republicans would be making another unacceptable and ineffective attempt at providing relief. Comment below, WhatJoe. What are you guys' thoughts about the current status on stimulus negotiations? Do you think that Nancy Pelosi should stick to her $2 trillion number, or do you think that she should compromise with Republicans and accept a package of $1.3 to $1.5 trillion? Please leave your feedback below. If you found value in this video, please go ahead and hit that like button. It really goes a long way in supporting the channel. Also, go ahead and share this video on your social media platforms. It really does support and grow the channel. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on that notification bell as I'm posting new updates every week. Thanks for watching, and until next time.